What's up? And how's it going? Minato, thanks for jumping on YouTube and being the first in chat tonight. Always appreciate that. So, still in catch-up mode, probably will be for a while still. We're gonna try to make some progress tonight. Don't know how far we'll get. That's the fun of it. We'll see. I don't know if we'll make it to any new dungeons or anything like that. I really don't know what to expect, but we'll see how it's all gonna pan out. I'm very happy to be back, and sorry for not streaming last night. I was just home a little bit later than I planned on being, and also I had work this morning, so by the time I got home, there was like no wiggle room to try to get to stream, so we can stream tonight, thankfully, and also thankfully, pretty sure I don't have work tomorrow. I don't think so, and I can stay on a bit longer. I meant to check a second ago. I'm pretty sure I don't, though. I just get so paranoid, I don't want to miss work, you know. But anyway, yeah, gonna be trying to make some progress. Hopefully not doing that too much. And, yeah, do some catching up. Zombie, hello, or hello. How are you tonight, Zombie? Thank you also for jumping in over on YouTube. And Steven, hello. How's it going, Steven? How's everybody's day been? Hopefully it was a good Monday. I mean, it was Monday, so hopefully it was good. Alright. I'm just going to kind of like go ahead and jump into this too. Of course, as always, we'll talk along the way and give our opinions and thoughts. All I say is waiting patiently for the return of certain Scions, not least of all you. Been good, only downsides your vacation is about to end. Oh yeah, that does. I know how that goes. It always does suck when you finally get out, get to relax. Even if you don't go anywhere, even if you just have like a in-home staycation, the moment you think about the grind coming back every day, just getting back to the usual weeks. Twice before you go to bed because you have a... Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I actually work like a swing shift now, Zombie, so it's, irrational would be a good way to put it. Just watch some recaps of random movies, that's cool. We've been out today wearing my My Hero Academia t-shirt. Probably can't see it, but that's okay. Good news, Tonberry. Thancred and Oriange have finished their tour of Garlemald and are on their way back here even as we speak. We still haven't heard anything on the towers from the Alliance. Hoping they might be able to shed some light on things. They're due to arrive any moment now, so let's see what they have to say, eh? Eh. Every horror movie apparently has to kill the dog? That's so messed up. It's like all the PS4 games have to kill the horses. Ah, welcoming party. You needn't have gone to to the trouble. From what I hear, you've been more busy enough as it is. Honestly, you might have waited for me to return before discovering a cure for tempering. As it is, I can't even pretend to have been involved. Well, if it's any consolation, I myself was little more than a spectator. The lion's share of the credit must go to Alice, Graha, and Tonberry. But I believe I speak for the rest of us when I say we are proud to have rendered what little assistance we could. As you will also have heard, though it hasn't been tales of triumph, just as we were taking a step towards fondly addressing the primal threat, a pile of fresh problems landed in our lap. Anyway, it's good to have you back. Though I can't help noticing that we're one Oriange short of a scouting party. You haven't lost him, have you? No, I couldn't lose him if I tried. And I did try. Repeatedly. But no. He decided to linger in Alamigo to apprise Raban and the others of how the land lies in Garlemald. Then mayhap you would do the same for us. Indeed. It was just as Lee said. Worse, in fact. Devastation as far as the eye could see. Nerva and Illard, however, were notably by their absence. Might they have met their end at the hands of Xenos and Fandaniel? Perhaps, or perhaps they simply lost the will to fight. You see, the capital has been plunged into a deathly silence, with one exception, the Imperial Palace. It was a busy place before the war, but it's grown busier still. With throngs of soldiers and civilians working there day and night to rebuild, or rather transform it. Transform it into what? That is a different question to answer. The construction is vast and unsettling to behold, like something from a nightmare. According to Oriange, certain aspects of its design were clearly devised with the manipulation of ether in mind. Magitech, in other words. Yet, as unnerving as said edifice was, it was nothing next to the sight of its builders. They swarmed the place like so many insects, working with nary a word exchanged between them. No one overseeing construction, no one barking orders. It was just as if they were possessed or tempered. We wanted to investigate more closely, but given our suspicions, it seemed wiser not to take the risk. If Fandaniel could bond Bahamut to his will, might he have done the same to the people of Garlemald? Whatever the truth may be, this information is certain to prove valuable. You have our thanks. Well, be sure to save some for Oriange when... Which reminds me, I have a message from Alamigo. Raban is hosting a meeting to discuss the latest findings on the towers, and he requested our presence. Then why not leave... Then why not leave that to us? You must be weary from your mission. Nah, I'm fine. Those towers have been on my mind since I first spied one on the way back. And I'm keen to get to the bottom of this. In that case, I shall stay and begin looking into another matter, as I promised Kryl. We need not all attend. Very well. I suggest the rest of us make our way to Alamigo forthwith. With it, the sooner we leave, the more time we have to speak with Oriange before the meeting. Jesus, this is gonna suck. What channels were you watching? Been grinding away at the new Tells game. The Garleans and Asians are practically saints compared to the bad guys. Really? I actually heard not a review, but I think the headline was like, Is it the new best action RPG? I've never played a Tales of game though. One thing you wonder is why they teleport with the Aetherots. Do they teleport with the Aetherots? Or do they use ships and boats? Without seeing that body pillow. It's funny. But yeah, I don't know. I don't remember how to get to Alamigo. The Alamigo Quarter. I don't think this is it, is it? Maybe it is. I don't know. It is sweet. There's so many of these areas. It's been so long since I've been there. It's just kind of weird going back. You're so hungry? I'm actually kind of hungry too, to be honest with you. Araz so far would be a very strong entry point. Really? Omar, hello? It's hard. Is it like Nair, or is it like Final Fantasy 15? Or is it something similar to both, but also nothing like them? I've never played any of them. Do like the stories run in an order, or are they kind of like Final Fantasy, where like each installment's different characters in a whole new story? Figured I'd have to read this shit. Next to Pirates, Oriange's text is my least favorite to read in this whole game. Pirate talk and Oriange. Anything else I can just muster up and I'm fine, but Jesus. It's like Final Fantasy? Mostly like Final Fantasy story was? Really? That's cool. What about gameplay though? My friends, much and more I heard of your travails in our absence. Heartened I am to see you all hale and whole. As are we to see you safely return from your mission, Oriange. I trust Thancred made you feel more welcome? Well, well, if it isn't Alphino and his merry band. Arnvald, whatever are you doing here? We spoke via Link Pearl. You told me you'd be away on a mission. And who's to say this isn't part of it? But enough of that. It's good to see you looking so similar. I thought you'd have grown a bit taller after a whole year in another world, but apparently not. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. While my soul may be a year older, my body has hardly aged, as you are well aware. And may I remind you that we Elizin are known to be late bloomers, especially in terms of our hut. Mark my words, the day will come when even a great Aurochs such as yourself will crane your neck to meet my eye. I was not until my 12th summer that I myself outgrew my boyish proportions. Though Moonbrighta towered over me, nonetheless. Arnvald brings out the best in Alphino, doesn't he? They both seem so at ease in each other's company. It's almost endearing. It's raining, by the way. So what exactly brings you here? Oh, for Dola mostly. We need to go over a few things before we set out. Set out? Wait, does this have something to do with the towers? What gave you that impression? Actually, tell me later. You've got a meeting to go to. I'll see you afterwards, alright? He'll never be that tall. It's one of those you kind of gotta see. Pretty speak of my words. If Redola is going with him, that must mean... My apologies. As Arnvold rightly pointed out, we have a meeting to attend. Let us be about it. I'm about it. I'm sorry. Voice acting.
Ere we begin,
Yes.
I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. Tis no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades. An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
This is it? What does that mean?
Theatrics. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Teleforoi's disposal. But since then we have seen no sign of this Fandaniel or his worm. And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
Whenever and wherever it may be, we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy. 'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us.
Yeah, well.
Luckily, I'd seen that sort of thing before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
Are you saying they were tempered?
Once they'd come back to their senses, they told us everything they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar. And that was the last thing they remembered. But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked. Glory be to Garlemald.
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
It's kind of harder than older entries because leveling is more grand. Combat points. Used for healing and such. Watching scary stories, so... Well... Sorry you're scared, Omar. I'm glad you can make it, though. I really appreciate it.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more. Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses. And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers. Our scouts sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
So the Empire is the common thread.
With the support of Xenos, it seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Trollophoroi.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma. The plan had been to march on Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first. Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task.
Ah, shit. I did it a little bit early.
What?
Resistant to primal influence as they are, they can investigate the towers without fear of being turned.
What the hell is Estinian doing right now?
We are glad to put our gifts to use, Commander.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
Are you
Just
certain
chilling
about this, Arenvold?
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
Wow! Can you just talk here so I don't have to read? Read more words on the film, man. Endlessly, it looks like. Now that it's out in the open, I don't have to keep it under my proverbial head anymore. This guy just said he was a pervert.
So you know, I've already gone
Sweet.
through all the formalities at the Rising Stones. Made sure to inform Jamolver and Vamar at Ralga's Reach as well.
Arenvold, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
I know the risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan. With this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
It's hard to get over just all these people talking, and they say Fandaniel. Like, that is like the least impressive name this game has ever did, period. Like, there's been some some cutesy ones. There's been a few that just like sound really cool. Some that's just like super plain. But Fandaniel, I hear Fandaniel, and like if I was watching a movie per se, or an anime, or just anything, and then like the main villain's name is Fandaniel. It's Fandaniel. What? It's just like somebody was just gonna like, they wanted to start with an F, you know. There's like fan. Why is there not? There's not in a boss who's there's no main villain whose name starts with a F. I got fan down so far. And then in the background, there's probably some boss who's like, Daniel, get back to work! Fan Daniel. That's stupid. I'm going with it. And then somebody just read it. Probably Sleepy Yoshi P. Just. Why does the Final Fantasy 16 script sound so much like the Final Fantasy 14 script? And somebody probably tapped him on the shoulders like, sir, you're reading the Final Fantasy 14 script. Oh, that makes sense. Wait, then what about the Final Fantasy 16 meeting? You already attended that, sir. Oh, shit! What did I do? A lot, sir. Oh, was it good? It was very good, sir. It was very good. Did I fall asleep? No, sir. You did during this meeting, though. It's okay. It's Final Fantasy 14. What was his name again? Fandaniel, sir. Yeah, Final Fantasy 14. That's the meeting I'm at again. You guys are doing good work. Good work. I'm gonna go fall asleep in the floor in there. That's the bathroom, sir. Okay, over there. That's the cafeteria, sir. Where am I at right now? This is your office, sir. I'm falling asleep in the floor here. Get out. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, too. I don't know for what yet, but you did it. It's what I imagine happened. The name doesn't spark concern. It doesn't spark anything. The Hammer Valentine. Hello? The Croc is here. Hello, Killer Croc. How are you? Thanks for jumping in over on Twitch.
And you, Fordola? Is this what you want?
What are you asking me for? It's not like I have any say in the matter.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Eldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
Lola game?
So the Empire's finished, is it?
She exists.
So that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat. And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head. I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
Where am I from? Georgia in the US.
Very well. If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
Hey, very cool. City, I'm in like northwest Georgia. It's not the city name. I don't really want to get into like, you know, specifics, but northwest Georgia though.
If you finished with your touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate exactly?
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. We'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it. Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Paglthan instead. There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
It's so weird how some people say it, Amalja. Like, it sounds like a disease. It's my... What's wrong with you? I got the Amalja. 6 feet away. Where's your mask? No, Patrick. From SpongeBob? It's I mean, it's kind of vague. I know a Patrick. Southside, but no, not quite. I live like literally right beside the Tennessee line in Northwest Georgia. Big diagnosed with almond. Amalja. It sounds horrible, doesn't it? Like, I got the Amalja. Like, just whatever you're doing after this stream, just walk out to the nearest person you see and tell them that. I guarantee they're going to ask you, first they're going to be like, oh no, how'd you get it? And then the follow-up question will be, what is that? If it isn't the first question, it's either going to be, what's that? Or, oh no, how'd you get it? What is it? A boat? Ringgold? It's kind of close to Ringgold where I live, but not quite now. And, I mean, not really. I mean, thank you, though. Chilling out on a boat sounds cool, but it is, like, September. So it's sort of chilly in the morning and the evening. And I got a family and kids. Ringgold, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, let's be fair, where I live, it's like probably worse. Gosh.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way.
Gotta wait till October for that, Minato. Helen at the Moon? That's fun. PM? Definitely not. No, I'm like a early bird.
Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Mayhap when all of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
You know, Alfino really seems to be taken up with this dude. Friends or not, they just seem very close.
I'll believe that when I see it. Though, to be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a scion's lot in life. Take care, eh?
I have no idea what that is, Killer Croc.
It means a lot, you know. You coming with me.
I'll still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
Outfit of the day. I'm wearing a My Hero Academia t-shirt and gym shorts. I got off work like almost 5-ish hours ago, and I've been awake since 6 o'clock in the morning. I am just laxing in those, like, those let's chill at home clothes. You know what I mean?
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway. But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming. I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light, or Alphino for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime.
Oh, shit! Man, that's like a bash and a compliment at the same time. It's like, hey! Oh, hey! Jesus! I realize I can't hold a candle to the hero like the Warrior of Light or Alphino. Hey, that's nice of you. He might look like he's 12. What? Wait, is he talking about Alphino or me?
No. The fact is, I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try.
Hey, you have a good night as well, Killer Croc. Thanks for jumping in over on Twitch. And, hey, come back sometime. We'd love to have you. And I really appreciate you sticking around, getting some chat on, and definitely hanging out for a little while. Cool to meet another fellow person in Georgia. We meet a few people here from Georgia every now and then. There's a few occasional returners that are here in Georgia as well, but hey, it's cool. Thanks for the boat invite stuff and everything. Like I said, I got a family. I don't really, I work, I stream, and then I spend time with family. It's kind of like my life. Not a lot of wiggle room. But who knows? People have wanted to do a meet and greet for a while. Maybe one day we can. Like, way later down the road. I don't know. It'd be cool to be able to do a meet and greet tour, but I literally have no free time for that. That is a dream of mine, merely, unfortunately. But who knows? Maybe one day. Just like the dream of this being the full-time job. Then I could quit actually waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning and going to work, or at least wake up and stream. I don't know. That still sounds like a nightmare. Oh.
They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
It's like this dude has an accent, but he doesn't, and it comes and goes. Oh, there would be no forcing Minato. There's so much content, no matter what.
It's not want for conviction. That much is certain.
No matter
so
what.
Let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both.
I will always say no to things I don't want to do when it comes to streaming. Even if it was the full-time job, like, there's certain content. It's not just the grinding. It's just, sometimes to me, it's just, in my opinion, not good content. That's my opinion, though. A lot of people do like that stuff. A lot of people don't have anything to do, so they can just endlessly grind. And when that's not there, they have nothing to do, and then they're bored. So I get that. But for me, no. Things where that is just too much. Like, I don't even mind extreme content. I don't mind it. But if it's just like just dumb, like run here, run there, do this, do that. Now you gotta dance for like 4 minutes. And I swear to God, if you do 1 minute less or 1 minute more, it's the end of the fight. You're dead. That doesn't exist, but I wait for the day that it does. I don't know. There's just some of them. It's just too much. You know. I don't know. Savage content, on the other hand, way too much. And Eureka? No words. No words.
While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task. Chasing down this lunar Bahamut.
When I say make it full-time, I don't mean full-time Final Fantasy XIV streamer, which I do love to play the game, do love to stream it. I've streamed it for a few years now. Just mean streaming full-time, period. It really still is the dream. But who knows? Maybe one day, not anytime soon though.
Bloody thing. Can you hear me? It's Tataru. I'm happy to say we've managed to find Estinian.
One mechanic might confuse you. Maybe. That happens sometimes. Hey, Estinian!
And I'm sorry to say he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut.
God dang it, I was really curious about him.
But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
The Battlefield thing 14 has for Relic, but Eureka? Fuck Eureka. Yeah. I don't know, there's just a lot of content that I just can't bring myself to do. And I always ask people, just like, don't hate me for it, but there's just some stuff, it's just like, I'm here for the story, and there is a little story content within the skeleton of that kind of content, but for the most part, it's just grind. And content like that, I really can't get into, you know, like, if you haven't noticed, with the length and duration of my streams, like, let's say outside of an MMORPG, I'm incredibly underleveled for every boss ever in any game I play. Sure, the first few I'm there, but then when it starts getting to end game, I'm just like, always know there's somebody back there watching, like, dude, I trained for like 2 days, just fought random monsties, or, you know, hinting at Monster Hunter or any other Final Fantasy game, really. I'm going to take a very quick rest break. And Kingdom Hearts! There's a whole reason I quit playing and streaming it for a reason. I'll be right back, though. I'm back as well, zombie, and all you missed was probably me being gone. Sounds about right. Good old Tumble should be level 70 for the final boss fight. It's level 53. That's about what it goes for me. I mean, I just don't have the grind in me. I've always been like that. Don't get me wrong. Some grind I don't mind, you know? But, again, let's refer back to Monster Hunter World, where, like, it's like a major grind. Like, you kill, like, 7 or 8 things in a row, and you're only, like, halfway there. And that's where I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I will be here literally forever trying to do this. But you gotta admit, I always get the job done. 90% of the time. Maybe 89%. 89 to 90% of the time I get the job done.
Even if we set out this instant, he may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the bonanza to Ishgard. It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
Gladly. I'll see to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones. Good luck.
While you go off on your dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
You never does in-game content.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
I'm hit and miss on it, zombie. Depends on what game and what the content is. It's funny, though, that I mentioned Estinian, and now we have an Estinian-themed quest that I'm super excited about. I can't tell you how bad I want the Estinian play arts figure. That bad. Words don't describe it. It's just only a sound of pain. I've just got so many, like, Final Fantasy play arts figures. I literally do not have one from Final Fantasy XIV. I've got a Y'shtola plush around here somewhere. But it's about the length of Final Fantasy XIV. I have characters. I've got Firion from Final Fantasy II. I've got... that's the oldest, as in, you know, oldest, this game going back. Waifu plush. Then just a shit ton of Final Fantasy VII. Like, Cloud, Sephiroth, Vincent Valentine, Barrett, Reno, Kadaj. I think I got another one, I don't know what it is. Then we got Laguna from Final Fantasy VIII. Not a play arts, it's actually a Bandai, which is insane to actually get your hands on. You can still get them, but to get one unopened is a very hard thing to do. It's like the closest one to me right now. Everything's still, unfortunately, in boxes here. Non, I wish I had a few from Non. I really do. I really love Final Fantasy Non, and I have nothing to represent it. Same with 10. And then we have Vaughn from 12, Saz from 13. And I think that's the length of how far we go into the series of what we actually do have. Or I have. I feel like there's another Final Fantasy character I got too, and I can't really think of who it might be if I do. From Final Fantasy VII. Maybe not though. Oh, wait, we got the Xenosigalvis! Bust! I forgot all about that. It's been in its box since I moved, unfortunately. But we have the Xenos figure. I forgot all about that, so I do have a Final Fantasy XIV figure. And then we also have the Judge Maester's, like, bust as well. Got that Xeno? Yeah, I forgot all about Xenos. I happened to look over and saw his box right there, and I was like, oh shit! I forgot! But it almost feels weird having it though, because I feel like I'm the only person that enjoys him as a villain. Everybody else kind of like just hates him a lot. But I just think Xenos Sigalvis, he reminds me so much of Sephiroth. Like, he's just like a villain basically kind of for no reason. He's just like a shithead, you know? Like, Sephiroth, he's kind of got a reason, but let's be fair, not really. He's a mad kid in a man's body. That's Sephiroth for you. Alphino is keen to track down Estinian. So Estinian was bound for Ishgard. Whatever it is that brings him home, we must hope it will keep him there long enough for us to find him. Come. There's no time to lose. Good deal. Mommy issues? Yeah. Gaming room so you can fill it with nerd stuff. That's what I actually like about us moving here. I don't have the proper space yet. I actually have the space. It's not an issue. I don't have the shelving. Unfortunately, I had a shelf, but when moving, my stepdad kind of dismantled it because he didn't know how to move it. Sad truth. So, shelving for me has been an issue. I still have everything I've always had, but mostly just in boxes. Unfortunately. But when the time does come, at least I have the space. There's like an open face closet here. There's like a whole back room over there, a whole wall space here. Unfortunately, the green screen takes up about a tenth of the room, so there's not a lot I can really do with the space back there. I mean, I'm sure I could put stuff back there, but I don't really want to. It's empty room space. But Hojo Sephiroth's father, and his actual mom is just some random person. Kinda. I mean, that's, I guess, the easiest way to put it, you know? Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of the easiest way to put it. He's basically just manipulated cells, is another way to put it, too. So, same with Kadaj and his merry band of pirates. Never played fully. Oh, never played Final Fantasy VII fully, only the remake. I mean, I recommend it, you know. There's no telling when the remake will be finished, and the remake has already changed a lot. So, I don't want to say they changed a lot. Some things were reimagined, a few things were changed, and some things were just made bigger than what they should have been. Because there's a lot of things that happen in Final Fantasy VII that's just kind of like, meh, it's over with. Let's get out of here and move on with the game. I hate to mention, Jessie is one of those moments. She's an underthought of the OG Final Fantasy VII game, and in Final Fantasy VII Remake, she is just like a shining star of the game. Yuffie and her new little DLC wasn't, you know, what the DLC is, which I'm really still disappointed that they did that. I've been really afraid already that they would be going a really weird way with Final Fantasy VII Remake and the Integrate DLC that is PS5 exclusive only, which I'm also really upset about. It's my first worry already. I could see them doing more and more and more in that category. Not necessarily that, you know, just the PS5 exclusive, which I'm guessing the rest of it will be, but it's not just that. It's just the fact that I don't want them taking the Final Fantasy 15 route, and they're treading on a weary path already with doing that, where it's like optional DLC for no fucking reason, really. Like, you could play through Final Fantasy 15 without Episode Gladius, or Episode Ignis, or Prompto. Do they slightly enhance the game with a little backstory? Kinda. Prompto and Ignis, it really seems pointless. Gladius, or Gladiolus, makes the most sense, ish. But Prompto having his own like Metal Gear segment going on, you're just like, he's been taking pictures and in the way or dying the rest of the game. Now he's just like fucking Snake out here, just on secret operative missions, riding snowmobiles and doing whatever the fuck. And then Ignis, the episode Ignis was probably my least favorite. I liked the gameplay, but it's the most controversial out of all of the three. And then Arden I refused to play. What up, Troy? Zach being alive, and there's just a lot of shit, really, that's just, I don't know. It was made modernized. I don't even want to say it was made modernized. I don't know how I feel about it. DLC that should have been in the game, basically. Thirsty for Cindy. I mean, I don't even want to say that. It just seemed pointless, really. If it could have been in the game, which would have been nice, you know, to just do that instead of having to buy it, which is slightly a good thing, you know. Did you hear that they shut down PvP in Fallout 76? I didn't hear about it, but I could see it happening, honestly. As much as I loved a lot of the Nuclear Winter, Minato and I played an ass ton of it, and I'm not even a big... what is it called? What is it called? Why can't I think of that name? A big fan of that, like, Battle Royale style, that's it. I actually love Nuclear Winter, though. I thought it was so well put together. But, to be fair, that game's just been a fluke altogether. I mean, I love it for what it is, and I love it for what it was, and I think they did a good job with parts of it, but to be fair, like, that game... I'm glad with this, like, new DLC coming out, it's kind of opening things up a little bit more for anybody. I actually, like, I saw somebody meme out something they called on it in a comment section on YouTube. Or I think it was YouTube, but anybody was like, hey, it's not cheating if everybody's cheating, like turn on your infinite ammo or zero gravity jump and shit like that. Final Fantasy 15, there's like an entire different ending with where Noctis lives and you fight Bahamut, guess some crazy shit. Yeah, there was a whole thing about, like I said, episode Ignis was a big turn with all of it. Episode Arden, again, I never played and never will. You're pre-ordering Dawn Light 2, very cool. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of shit that you can do that alters the story in Final Fantasy 15. There was actually supposed to be like 2 other episodes that were going to be released, but due to people like myself who are sensible in thinking and played other Final Fantasy games other than just Final Fantasy 15, was like, this is stupid, like, stop. And eventually their sales wasn't matching. They were putting too much into this DLC and nobody was buying it anymore because it was bogus. I mean, again, that DLC has an alternate part of stories in 3 different chapters where the 3 bromies or Joker Bros just leave the party for a little bit, and one goes and fights a fight. That makes sense. One becomes freaking Solid Snake, and then the other one is just like not blonde yet, and then he's like Bionic Commando, and then all of a sudden he's not just cooking anymore, he's, you know, doing everything else and altering the story completely. In one hand and then not in the other, I guess you could say. It's just, I don't know. That game got so out of line in Final Fantasy 15. Did I like it? I loved it. Did I like the DLC? It was okay. Did I get all of it? No. I mean, they just... It was a game that could have been handled a lot better than what it did, you know? It was a game they came out with, and they just kind of let a whole team work on it. It's kind of like Dissidia NT. You know, Dissidia It's a fun Final Fantasy game where you just play as other Final Fantasy characters fighting other Final Fantasy characters, but they got a random team to work on it. It was like, hey, we can do it, you know? And they could not do it. It was a fail. Final Fantasy 15, do I love the game? Yes. Outside the game, I consider it a fail. I really do. Would I recommend the game? Yes. Would I recommend DLC of the game? No. Would I recommend you just get base game and not royal? Yes. Should you watch the film that's attached to it? Yes. Honestly, they actually make it optional, but it really isn't. There's a lot of the main story deep within that game, especially if you want Luna Freya's story, which a lot of people did, but they refused to watch the film and they just wanted it in the game. There's a whole bunch of anime shorts too that you could watch that were okay. It was just one of those things that was just like too big of a stretch. They tried to make it another Final Fantasy VII and it never was or will be. Likeable characters? Oh yeah, definitely. Memorable characters, for sure. But just altogether, it's just like, it's just too much, you know? Uses the ring that Noctis family is only supposed to use. Yeah, you know, there's a lot more than just that, Minato, but yeah. You know, it's another thing. That's why he's blonde, eh? All present. Good. Let us split up and search for Stydian. Since we're relatively new to this place, Gratha and I will look around the open spaces. With squares and markets and whatnot, you and Tonberry can delve into the nooks and crannies. Very well, let us reconvene at the airship landing later. With or without a Stydian. Good luck. Maybe Bond is still more useful than most of the players you get in the Party Finder. Am I gonna get Far Cry 6? Probably not. I've only played one Far Cry, it was Far Cry 3. I've never beat it, I've just played it a little bit. A friend actually let me borrow it, and then a cousin actually let me have it later on, but I think the idea of Far Cry is pretty cool. I've just never really played them a lot, really. It's so hard for me to, like, just play other games too when I'm not streaming them, and it's one that doesn't really make sense for me to stream. I mostly just play horror games or RPGs or JRPGs, so it's probably a title I just really won't be picking up. I mean, I know it's an RPG, an open world RPG survival game, but and I like the idea of the games, I really do. I just probably won't pick it up though. It does look cool from what little I've seen though. Good morrow to you, Warrior of Light. Lord Emmerich sent word that you would be attending the meeting in Alamigo, so I gather you have not come in search of him. To what then do we owe this pleasure of your visit? Where's the Stydian? No. Oh, I see. No, we were not aware Sir Stydian had returned to Ishgard. But as I expect you remember, he is wont to come and go as he pleases. Mayhap he came seeking an audience with Lord Emmerich, only to find him absent? In any event, I'm afraid I cannot help you. Perhaps one of your companions has fared better. I think you mean Sucker Troy. Maybe, I hope. But I don't bash on people for getting DLC. I'm like, if I literally gotta say I'm guilty of something, it's Mortal Kombat DLC. I just haven't got the last character pack, but I've got all the DLC for Mortal Kombat 11. I am a literally Mortal Kombat fanatic, even though I've taken long breaks. I always take long breaks, but when I get back into it, I'm just like, Jesus. I don't know what you mean, Troy. Confused, but Final Fantasy 15 and Far Cry is what I think you mean, right? Maybe. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If you like the DLC, I mean, it's fun. You know, a lot of people do like that extra DLC. There's some games I really get into it as well. I'm so about it, and then there's other games where I'm like, I'm not gonna pay for that. You know what I mean? So we all have our ebb and pull. If I'm a sucker for any All-Star DLC, thankfully it's free. It's the Fallout DLC. Something always brings me back to Fallout 76. Something always does. And the last time I even stopped with the story, I mean, it was just okay. I have to take a very quick restroom break, but yeah. But yeah, there's other games with DLC I enjoy too. I mean, look at me, I play MMORPGs, so I mean, I know it's not a expand or not a DLC, but it is an expansion, and again, I'm a sucker for stuff like that. But there's some of it I really can't get behind sometimes as well. Like, again, Final Fantasy 15. I love the game, but just, again, I'll never get episode art. Never gonna play it, never gonna get it. Don't really see a point in it. Probably won't really ever play the game again, honestly, either way. Did like 98% of what the game had to do. Other than... And this is one of the things I also hated about Final Fantasy 15 DLC. They gave you this story, which was great for what it was worth. It's mostly about 2 hours or less of story that they just compiled to try to make one scene make more sense, which they kind of didn't. But maybe a little. And other than that, though, it was also kind of just them giving you something to grind. Like, take pictures of stuff, or do the same thing like 50 times because they spent a lot of work on it, and they really didn't have any other plans for it. Or, I mean, just stuff like that, you know? Like, the Gladiolus one was just like, defeating bosses in a certain amount of time. I don't know. It's just, to me, that's not content. That's... You did something and you didn't know what else to do with it, so you just put a timer on it after the hey, do it this way now, you know? If I'm being honest with a random game I've been wanting to play, off stream, obviously. I've been fighting demons to not get Crash Bandicoot. I've been wanting to get the Insane Trilogy, which is basically a remake slash remaster. I say it like that because it's a bit of both. I've been wanting to play it so bad. Mostly because I would like to recap my brain with the story of Crash Bandicoot, which there's not a lot there, but there's some. And I really wanted to play the fourth installment that came out actually quite a while back, the Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time, or just Crash Bandicoot It's About Time. And I've been wanting to play those games so bad. Oddly enough, which a lot of you could guess, I do like platformer games. I grew up in the 90s. And, you know, that was like mostly all we had. We had RPGs, some JRPGs, but mostly platformers. You know, Mario, Sonic, Frogger. You know, just random platformers that sometimes got sequels and a lot didn't. You know, we had Banjo-Kazooie and Jak and Daxter, which is kind of platformer, kind of open world RPG. Crash games are super hard. I never thought the Crash 2 or 3 were hard, but the first one was kind of difficult for me. But I really want to play the newer ones, though. Always loved puzzle games. Spyro, that's another one. It's kind of in the same boat as Jak and Daxter, though. Kind of like open world-esque, RPG-esque, platformer-esque.
No sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alphino goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
Oh yeah, you definitely could. Looks evil, isn't. Looks cool, is. And nobody else wears armor like he does. Except for, you know, every NP, or actually, not NPC, but every playable character that's Dragoon in the game. Almost, anyway.
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
They'd probably be afraid to talk to him, if I'm being quite honest with you. Was evil at one point, but not really his fault. Yeah, you know.
First, the Scion's Coinkeeper.
There he is.
I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence.
Yeah, well, we're looking for you. I feel like he's like, if he was a celebrity in real life, he's like one of those celebrities like, oh, I want to go talk to him. But then in the back of your mind, it's like, I'm just going to stay over here, though. Kind of afraid of him.
Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
I forgot how tall this son of a bitch was. Jeepers.
Too long.
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alpha.
Oh, no, he did not. Oh. Oh, man. All I'm saying is, I thought they bashed Alphino earlier for saying he looked 12. But what just happened to Alice is beyond that, and that is just... Woo! Oh, man. The voice didn't even catch him either.
Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
I am not Alphino! If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged?
To be fair, I'm not even going to shy away from it. If I'd never met Alice and only met Alphino, and then I came back and saw just one of them, not Alphino, and only saw Alice, slightly looks feminine, but not really. I mean, they have the exact same hair.
Oh! Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
Jeebers.
Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light's side. To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
Fanboy!
Would someone mind explaining what is going on?
Well, you got a fanboy and a pissed off sister. How have you been, Estinian?
Is everything all right? I thought I heard Alize shouting.
A literal weeb.
Estinian! It's been too long. No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
She could change her hair, you know, I'm just saying.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again. What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
At least someone's having a good time. You know, when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinian as he does Arenvald.
Well, you know, they've been through the shit, so to speak. Perhaps he sees them as brothers he never had. I think he learned how to talk with people rather than at them. Well, you can't keep them all to yourself forever. I like the second option. Talked with people rather than at them, which is very true. You know, the journeys he's had while Tumbles up there is just... They met a lot of people doing a lot of things. You know, Alice did too, but not quite as much. And Alphino met all of these different people, going through different struggles and whatnot. What up, Mira?
I wouldn't be so sure. He still loves nothing better than the sound of his own voice.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Azis La.
Wow. I don't want to go back.
Azisla? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Azis La, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
Damn shackles.
I see. As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation.
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azisla together?
God dang it.
I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
Oh, there's your answer, Minato. They travel via airship. Not the crystals. His mate and also sister. What am I doing? Playing some Final Fantasy XIV.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
Be my guest. But confuse me with Alphino again, and I'll throw you overboard.
He's a dragoon. He can jump back. He also commands a dragon.
I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
To be fair, he's seen some shit.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less blunt.
Wow, that's exactly what he is. Let's not talk about that, Minato. It's been a few years now, and I'm still not adept. I'm just... There's north, there's south, there's up, there's down, there's left, there's right, and then there's that shit. Which is wrong. It's wrong! It's been quite some time since I last set foot in Ozzy's Law, but I understand the three of you were here rather more recently. I don't suppose you chanced to meet with Tiamat during your visit. We just, obviously didn't try to go chat with a shackled up dragon. Just wasn't on our agenda at the time, you know what I mean? Last night, we had no cause to set foot here in the Delta. Sorry. But I've studied the relevant records, which is not to say I wouldn't appreciate a first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well, then Tonberry is the person to ask. As far as I know, he's the only one of us to have met Tiamat face to face. Even now, she remains a prisoner of the Allegan Empire. Let's just say it helped that Midgar Somar was there to introduce me. Well, he's not here now. I would not shed a light on that. Ah, yes, you were a friend of her father. I, too, have met with Tiamat. After the Dragonsong War came to a close, I came here to speak with her, a worm who had fought her own war against man in another age. She wished to know if she had yet harbored thoughts of vengeance, and asked as much. She said no. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels for resurrecting Bahamut burns and undimmed. It torments her, even now. I see. Then your original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat had been forced to summon Bahamut. Nidhogg is a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own, and I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls to me to watch over her. Kind of awkward to ask the Lady Dragon of the mate brother we... Pizza? Mixed spinach quiche? Okay, that's fucked up. That doesn't say potato. That says potato. Which is fucked up. And that's the one they want me to take. Hell no! I'm grabbing the pizza. I don't even care if it's useless for me. The saddle's really good. Mm-hmm. Alejandro, hello. How are you? Estinian. What's next? Estinian is ready to lead the way to Tiamat. Tiamat awaits. This way. Aight. Just wanted to look at something really quick. Why not? It's always a weird mount to me. It's got two faces, and one on his face and one on his butt. I've been pretty good. How about you, Alejandro? A little tired. Not too bad, though. I always hate it when they speak Gervanian. Like, what the hell is even the point of a voice actress or actor with this shit when you still gotta read it? My sire's mortal companion, what bringeth thee back to this forsaken place, child of man?
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
At least this is a quick thing, because my character doesn't talk. It's been a minute. It has been quite the minute, Alejandro. Shit's gone Auri out in here. That my sins should be repeated. I sense not the faintest stirring. As to who could have called him forth, I know none save the dragons of Mercidia, our children. The icon claimed their souls. When first he manifested, and robbed of their will, they became tools for the Allagan's dark designs.
Much like those held here in Asisla. If dragons who worship Bahamut are required to summon him, that must mean...
Yes, the dragons of Mysidia are at the mercy of this Asian. There can be no other explanation. Accursed Asians, vile minions of darkness. Are you finished? Again, you would profane the memory of my beloved and strip our children of their freedom, their dignity. Are there no depths to which you will not stoop?
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering.
There you go, piss her off.
But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished.
What wouldst thou have of me, Slayer of Dragons?
Behavior befitting a great worm.
Get pissed!
We came here to ask mighty Tiamat of the First Brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Mericidia, what she intends to do about the crimes committed against her children.
Oh shit! More like it. Get rid! Were I free, I would answer thine insolence with fire, but words shall have to suffice. Wow, really, there's so many of these where it's short and she just keeps going, and there's these where it was hardly anything to say, but yet she said so much. Recall, mortals, that it was I who did first summon my beloved, praying with all my being to bring him forth. You who contend with the icons will be ignorant of the consequence.
You too were exposed to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul. But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
Indeed, ask the Dragon Slayer, and he will tell thee the power of all the First Brood will. Were I to lose myself to the icon influence, all would pay the price. But it is a little of matter, for even had I the strength to resist, I yet lack the strength to break my shackles. This prison shall be my tomb.
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance. If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And while we've never tried it on one such as you, its basic principles are universal.
Speakest thou in earnest?
There is no future for those bound to the past.
A haircut? Probably no amount, honestly. I really like having long hair, honestly. My whole life I've kind of done the rigmarole where I would have long hair, short hair, long hair, short hair. And over the last few years, I just kind of let it go, let it grow. Gosh, I haven't had a haircut in like the last... I would say it's been at least 4 years, at least. 4 to 4.5 years since I've had a haircut, and I don't really want to get it cut anymore. You know, always regret it every time I do or have had it done. And so, yeah, it probably never going to happen.
That you committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute. But if you feel remorse, you may yet make amends. We offer you that chance. Take it, or you will forever remain a prisoner, not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
To make amends, to lay Bahamut's memory to rest. When our own star faced annihilation, Hydaelyn granted us sanctuary, and now your foes would bring about her destruction. This I cannot allow. For the debt I owe to Hydaelyn, and to all who have suffered for my sins, I shall fight with you, children of men. While the Porxies have been shown to be effective in curing the tempered, Tiamat must be considered a special case. What's up, Minato? She is far larger and immeasurably more powerful than any subject treated thus far. Were we to remove her restraints only to find that the process had failed, we would be hard-pressed to contain her. Then before going ahead, we must learn as much as we can about the exact nature of her condition. Do you suppose we can find the information here? Why, yes we can. We can indeed. The Elegants kept detailed records on all of their notable captives, and I know exactly where to look. We shall leave that to you, then. In the meantime, the rest of us will turn our thoughts to the removal of those shackles. I know Alphino and Tonberry were here well enough. Oh, knows them well enough. But not you. Are you certain you're ready to see this through? Rest assured, Sir Estinian, that I am both ready and willing to give my all for the sake of this star. though that is not my only reason for wanting to set Tiamat free. While I do not claim to know her sorrows, too once found myself in a prison of despair, and while I understand how hard it can be to dare to dream of escape, it took the encouragement of braver souls than I am to make me take the first step forward, a brighter future, and now I would help Tiamat do the same. What up, Rez? How long have I been on YouTube now? Like 5 years? It's getting close to that mark. You know, not quite, but it's getting close. I gather you're not as young as you look. Mayhap, when our work here is done, we could trade tales over a pot of Tataru's famous tea. And be indebted to her for the leaves of and hot water? I think not. I see. Returning swiftly to the task at hand then. I believe the nodes governing Tiamat's restraints are located in the sector known as the flagship. Ah yes, we're familiar with it. The Aetherochemical Research Facility in particular. Oh. You may wish to take this, a spirit vessel containing a small amount of my blood. Jesus. Which you just happen to be carrying around with you. You know, never know when you'll need it. I suppose that could seem rather odd to explain. Rembros Oriange and I are researching the use of spirit vessels and the transference not only of memories but the traits of certain bloodlines, and so I keep one at the ready should an opportunity to test our theories arise. As for its use, you may recall that during our previous visit, the nodes here granted access to restricted functions, having identified me as of the royal blood. And armed with that spirit vessel, I posit that they will do the same for you, even in the absence of, well, the rest of me. It seemed worth a try at least. Agreed, we'll take good care of it. To the flagship then. Ah, Jesus. This didn't be like, nah, pretty much, yeah. And we're coming down to the final straw of the dawn. I'm getting very tired, so bear with me here. So Rez, how was the Monday? How did it treat you? Hopefully it was a good one. Let us split up and search the flagship for the node that controls Tiamat's restraints. But should you find a likely candidate, do not be tempted to make any adjustments. It would not do to accidentally release some matter of experiment monstrosity nor less Tiamat herself in her current state. Our objective is to simply identify and the relevant node or nodes. Once we have learned what we can, we should reconvene and compare our notes prior to proceeding. Okay, bear with me. I'm in my last little leg here. I'm starting to get very, very, very tired. Here we go. One. We're 2 quests away from the final dungeon. Really? We're not gonna get there tonight, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Minato. My plan is to actually, if I'm being quite honest with you, kind of finish this quest and get some rest for the night. Two of 3. Really expected to see it up here. I did not, though. Kind of sucks. Oh, there it is. Good deal. I'm not really gonna read it. It seems kind of pointless to read those. Don't hate me for it. But yeah, it seems kind of pointless to read the nodes. It's kind of just like nonsense robot talk. I'm afraid Destiny and I have little to show for our efforts. Did you find anything? I did. A node with which smelled like burnt hair. A chirping node with spontaneous warns you about regarding the dragon's restraint. Spontaneous, you say? Well, that does sound promising. Almost, suspiciously so, in fact. But then you were in possession of the soul spirit vessel. Shit. I made a mess. Give me a quick moment. But then we were in possession of the spirit vessel. I dare say it was indeed the noted self-scroll that spoke, and it was chirping. You say very well. Let us take a closer look. Okay, it's just right up here. Do you wish to operate the dragon restraint mechanisms? You do not have the requisite access privileges. Operations of the dragon restraint mechanism may only be undertaken by the chief technologist and members of the royal family, or those with a vessel full of royal blood. Perhaps. Please be voice acted. Nope, new user detected, commencing biometric authentication. Authentication complete. User identified as member of the royal family. Please state your name. Temporary disciple. Alfino Louevle. Welcome, Temporary Disciple. You may operate the dragon restraint mechanisms when ready. Error. Unable to disengage the restraints of the specimen Tiamat. A system update is required. System update? What do you suppose it's asking us of? I could hazard a guess to smash it to pieces. Well, that's more than I can say, confound bloody thing. User agitation detected in initiating guidance program. In order to operate the restraint mechanism, I require access to the central control system. However, I am unable to establish a link to said system due to the obsolescence of my own software. This issue can be resolved by applying a system update using the corresponding terminal located with the flagship. So can this thing release the restraints or not? It can, but only once has received the requisite system update as far as I can tell. Until which time it'll float there spewing nonsense. User dissatisfaction detected. Initiating placation protocols. I'm here to help. Rest assured that I will be on hand to guide you through every step of the system update process. How gratifying. But I dare say, we will fare better with guidance than without it. And with this quest, everybody, I hate to. I really do. I'm very tired. I didn't stream as long as I wanted to, but I did get to stream tonight, thankfully. I've already messed up once over here, getting a big mess. Thankfully, it was easy to clean up, but I'm very tired and I'm gonna get out of here. You can catch me tomorrow, right back here. Tomorrow night, streaming again. More Final Fantasy 14. If you can't make it, I totally understand. And if you can't, until next time, I'm definitely out of here. But have a great night, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. And for all the support over on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, all of it. And everybody, thank you all so much. But for now, I've got to get out of here. I am very, very tired. So until next time, and I hate to rush off, but I've been awake since 6 o'clock this morning. Or almost rather yesterday morning. We're getting close to that point. So 6 o'clock this morning. I've been awake for several hours. I'm very tired, very hungry. I gotta get out of here. Have a great night, and until next time, everybody, I really appreciate you all watching, and until then, I'm out. Good night, everyone. Take it easy.